Hello readers, and welcome to The First Page with T.S. Russell and Bartholomew Bear. Today we'll be reading the first page of Go Down Moses by William Faulkner. Go Down Moses. The first story was Part 1. Isaac McCaslin, Uncle Ike, past 70 and nearer 80 than he ever corroborated any more. A widower now, and uncle to half a county, and father to no one. This was not something participated in, or even seen by himself, but by his elder cousin, McCaslin Edmonds, grandson of Isaac's father's sister, and so descended by the distaff, yet notwithstanding the inheritor, and in his time the bequester, of that which some had thought then, and some still thought should have been Isaac's, since his was the name in which the title to the land had first been granted from the Indian patent, and which some of the descendants of his father's slaves still bore in the land. But Isaac was not one of these, a widower these 20 years, who in all his life had owned but one object more than he could wear and carry in his pockets and hands at one time, and this was the narrow iron cot and the stained lean mattress, which he used camping in the woods for deer and bear, or for fishing, or simply because he loved the woods, who owned no property, and never desired to, since the earth was no man's, but all men's, as light and air and weather were, who lived still in the cheap frame bungalow in Jefferson, which his wife's father gave them on their marriage, and which his wife had willed to him at her death, and which he had pretended to accept, acquiesce to humor her, ease her going, but which was not his, will or not, chancery dying wishes, main possession, or whatever, himself merely holding it for his wife's sister and her children, who had lived in it with him since his wife's death, holding himself welcome to live in one room of it, as he had during his wife's time, or she during her time, or the sister-in-law and her children during the rest of his, and after. Not something he had participated in, or even remembered, except from the hearing, the listening, come to him through and from his cousin McCaslin, born in 1850, and 16 years his senior, and hence, his own father being near 70 when Isaac, an only child, was born, rather his brother than cousin, and rather his father than either, out of the old time, the old days.